Hello and welcome along everybody to stage 5 of the Longines Global Champions Tour. We are at the Club de Campo Villa in Madrid here in Spain. The sun is out, the people are out, the drinks are out, and we are getting ready for the 5th LGCT Grand Prix of the season. As it stands, Gil Thomas goes on to win in Shanghai in the previous stage. Eduardo Alvarez Aznar holds on to the championship lead ahead of Max Kuna and Julian Aketau. And the big news of the weekend thus far is the fact that the world #1 Henrik von Ackermann has not qualified for today's LGCT. Now you are up to speed. Let me tell you what is coming up on the show today. We are going to portray and dive deeper into the hero story of Rockefeller, the 19-year-old championship winning horse of the championship leader Eduardo Alvarez Aznar, who makes a famous return, the prodigal child returning to Madrid as the championship lead. He has qualified for today's Grand Prix. He is late to go. What a story, what a fairy tale it would be if Rockefeller and Aznar were to be victorious here in Madrid. We'll take a look at a lot of the championship favorites. Max Kuna will join us on the show as well. So that and more coming up later on today here on GCTV. For now, let's flash back to Shanghai. Let's look back to that famous Gil Thomas victory on stage 4 of the LGCT season.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2024 Longines Global Champions Tour in Shanghai. Gil Thomas, first in the jump-off in Shanghai. 9 strides, first line, stretches over. 6 still to go, but he's aiming for the first double clear. And there's Gil Thomas, double clear in 42.56 seconds. Michael Duffy, claim back ground, claim back time on Gil Thomas. It's the last fence that falls for Michael Duffy. Angelica Augustsson-Sanotelli. No, she's not going to make it. She is riding for second place. No, it's gone, and now it's a big drop for Angelica Augustsson-Sanotelli. There she goes, and Edwina Tubbs-Alexander right for the win. This rhythm is not Gil Thomas's rhythm, and Gil Thomas has won the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix of Shanghai.
I didn't expect that I had #1 to go in the starting list, but yeah, I could do my rounds twice in the first round and also in the jump-off, and at the end it was enough to win.
First to go in the Grand Prix, first to go in the jump-off, and Gil Thomas was still able to get over the line and secure that famous victory. A couple of years ago when we recorded Chasing a Dream, then still under 25, Gil Thomas actually said to us that it would be a dream come true to win an LGCT Grand Prix, and now he finally has achieved that dream. That series is available for you on demand on GCTV, Chasing the Dream. Go and check that out. For now though, let's take a look at what the overall ranking looks like with the victory of Gil Thomas in Shanghai. How do the rankings look like? What does the season then begin to look like now going into stage 5 here in Madrid? Well, as mentioned, Eduardo Alvarez Aznar leads 5 points clear of Max Kuna. Definitely one to look out for that battle today of first versus second. As mentioned, Julian Aketau in third, Michael Duffy and Andreas Skau here and qualified. Simon Delestre qualified. Gil Thomas qualified. A lot of the big names on the overall LGCT rankings are here and in the Grand Prix. Christian Kukuk, Ben Mayer as well, all competing here at the Club de Campo Villa in Madrid. So it is starting to shape up beautifully. But as we mentioned, because of the home favorite tag, because of the thousands of people that are going to pile up on this grass bank over the next few hours to watch the jump-off of this Grand Prix. That's if there is a jump-off, by the way, and we'll get to that later. They are going to be begging for one story. They are going to be praying and hoping for one headline to come out of this piece, and it's Eduardo Alvarez Aznar and Rockefeller to be victorious. Let's find out more.
Rockefeller right now it's the main man in the stable, and not only because this year he's having very good results and He's proven that with this age he can be in this shape. It's for the long career we've been together already. It's 11 years so far, and it means that I learned to be in the top sport and in the top level with him, where we went together also to the playoffs in Prague, and he was in the team when Madrid in Motion won. The relationship at the beginning, okay, it was up and down. First two shows, I thought that this was never gonna work. Well, we started the first show, I remember it was in Lisbon, having a few faults the first day, second day, he even stopped one time, and okay, like the thing was not matching. I worked on a lot on beats. The horse has like a low balance, and he has his own tempo. No, you cannot change that. He's a bit slow motion over the jump, and I tried to change a little bit that. It didn't work, so I tried different beats and tried different ways of approaching the fences. And suddenly it matched. I found a bit that he was happy with that. I was happy also with the rideability, but I think I also had to change a little bit my way of riding, adapt to him, and then since then we grew up together. Well, if you see, it's not a tall horse, but he's very strong. He's massive with a big chest and a strong croup. And if you see him walking, he looks a little bit like a cat. He has a lot of elasticity and very loose muscles, and okay, a lot of scope. He has a very particular way of jumping. He goes very close to the poles. He's very economic in that way, and I think that's one of his good things, that he can still jump at this age, because he doesn't do over efforts to jump.
Rocky is so special for Edu, so it's special for me as well. But the match they do, the connection they have, it's amazing how they understand each other.
My kids, I have 3 kids, they come and the first thing they do at the stable is they go to say hello to Rockefeller, sugar and carrots and cuddles to him. So it's like an icon in the stable. I think that also makes him feel very important, and okay, his way of thinking and his mentality and his big heart make him back as strong as he is now.
I'm Eduardo Álvarez Aznar rider in 6 years. Everybody just talk about Rocky, but I think the main part is that Rocky and Edu, they are one, the complicity that they have. I think he is the fighter, and the 2 years or 1.5 years that he had break, I think was good for his mind, and also we have a very good vet, Cristiano. He always trusts in him. Edu also, they were always thinking he has another chance, and we can see that they were right.
Maybe that was the end of his career, but I didn't want to leave him a horse like this without giving another chance. So we tried to do our best and give him the proper time to recover. And I also had the experience of my father, and he said that with time and the good management, everything is possible. So this is proven. Also, we have a fantastic set of staff at home that they work really strong and day and night with him. Okay, when we started competing now this beginning of the year, like every day it was a new day, and we had to go step by step with him. I guess that at the end of the year is going to be the time to let him have fun and retire in the field. And okay, once he's retired, we will try to keep him as happy as possible, riding him, hacking, and taking him to the field every day. He's one in a lifetime. Maybe I could, maybe in the future, I don't know, I have a horse that I can have even more results than with him. But for sure, I'm not going to have this connection that I had with him, and for such a long period of time. He's always willing to fight for the riders, like a gladiator every time he goes in the ring.
A gladiator every time he steps into the ring, a hero amongst these parts here in Madrid, 19 years young, and your current Longines Global Champions Tour leader. What a story this is going to be for this once-in-a-lifetime horse for Eduardo Alvarez Asna. The big question now is he arguably the favorite? One of the favorites? Well, to give us some more detail on that, Frederik de Backer joins us on the show today. Frederik, thank you very much. We are ready to go for the LGCT Grand Prix of Madrid. We've heard about Asna. I'm sure he is on the list. Who else makes your list of favorites today?
Well, Mark, it was a very easy call to make a list of favorites. The field that we have here this weekend is absolutely unbelievable. The top-rated horses from across the world have come to Madrid, and this is how it shapes up in the start list. Willem Vermeer is first to go with IQ van het Steentje. Very strong horse there as well. Jodie Hall-McAtee, we were already talking about her back in Shanghai, and now she does it again with that very same Hardessa. And then here, 21st to go, Christian Koekoek and Checker, the highest rated horse in this Grand Prix in the Club Campo de Via. Farrington with Greya, Van der Vleuten with Beauville, and then as we go through the list, indeed, Aznar is also in that group. He's 35th to go with Rockefeller, but his direct rival on the championship standings, Max Kuhner, is number 40. He is on EIC up to Jaco Blue, which horse is also very highly rated. So these are the top rated horses of this Grand Prix, Mark. But I sent you a message in the beginning of the week of who I thought was going to be the favorite. And that combination is not on this list. It's not the top-rated combination just yet. And I was thinking of Dennis Lynch with Cordial. Now, normally, you can have a little bit of a hunch, but if I'm really fair, I find it so difficult out of this group to pick the favorite. And then there's a few dark horses, a few shadow favorites that sit just under this group. So in a whole field of, what is it, of 40, even this list could have been longer, could have been 15 even, to be considered favorites for this Grand Prix, Mark. But if you, again, would twist my arm, I can't pick, Mark. To be very fair, I can't pick the favorites of this Grand Prix. They're all there, they all have their numbers, but I just can't pick them. I don't dare to say who's going to win this Grand Prix.
It's fine. You've done the work by identifying the standouts that we need to focus on. But before I let you go and get ready for the course walk, can we just dig deeper on that caliber of horses? Because every single stage that we come to on the Longines Global Champions Tour, we talk about the best of the best. But really, Frederik, this weekend here in Madrid, if we talk about top-rated, we talk about the caliber of horses. Dive just a little bit deeper for me and just tell us how strong a field, horsepower-wise, we're actually talking about in Madrid.
Yeah, because So you've got these 10 horses that I just explained to you. Then you've got Balutinho here with Laura Kraut, Olympic top horse and Grand Prix winner all round. Then there's Conquidam, who I didn't mention. There is Calamandia, who I didn't mention just yet. But I also want to talk to you about a group of 10-year-olds. We're still early in the season, it's just May, but I want to talk to you. We have Zinedine, we have Greya of Kent Farrington, we have Hermitage, Cologne as well, and we have Point Break with Ben Mayer. Those are 4 10-year-olds, Mark, of who it is considered that they're going to be the top horses of the future. Not just a blip, not just a flash in the pan, but horses that will be consistent over the next 4 or 5 years at the very top level. So if you take all of those horses into one group, it is just unbelievable the depth of the field that is here tonight or this afternoon here in Madrid.
Oh, it makes me so excited to get underway in a few moments' time. Frederik de Backer, thank you very much, giving us a lot of insight as to who then makes it onto the favorites list. And also, as we say, really talks about the strong caliber of horsepower that we have in Madrid over and beyond the favorites list. If you take a look at the start list, it almost feels like there is championship material every single name that you go down today. The top 40 riders of the week all come together today here at the Club de Campo Via in Madrid to go head-to-head for today's championship stage win. As we said, this intriguing battle between Eduardo Alvarez Asna and Max Kuhner is starting to heat up as well. Because of that, we've heard from Asna already. Let's catch up with Max Kuhner. Dan Strange standing by with the man that finds himself in second place on the overall LGCT rankings.
We're down here in the arena with Max Kühne, who qualified first for this LGCT. Max, you're one of the favourites today. How do you feel ahead of this Grand Prix?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We have perfect conditions, and we haven't walked yet, but it looks great. Let's see.
You ride EIC up to Jacko Blue today. How is he? What form's he on? How does he feel in warm-up?
Yeah, he's one of my best horses, EIC up to Jacko Blue. He just comes from the indoor, from the World Cup final, so it's his first show after that. He's not so experienced on the grass, and he likes to overjump a little bit on the water, but he jumped very good the day before, so I'm looking forward.
You're 5 points behind Edu Aznar at the moment. He's on home soil in Madrid. Is all the pressure on him?
I would say yes.
How are you going to take advantage of that to make sure you either get the win or get a lot more points than him today?
We do our best. I think I have a very competitive horse. He was very good 2 days ago. Now he had 1 day's rest. He feels good, so we try to get in the jump off, and then we will fight for it.
Second in Miami at the LGCT there. What would a win in Madrid mean to you?
Would be great. We have a fantastic big crowd here looking at us, cheering at us. So definitely we will fight for it.
Max, thanks so much for your time. Mark, back to you in the studio. We've just seen and heard from a confident Max Kühne.
Thank you very much, Dan Strange. Max Kühne second on the overall LGCT rankings. And much like in the Global Champions League that took place earlier this week, we spoke about how that championship table is really becoming very, very compact. Based on the field that is here today, that rivalry between Max Kühne and Eduardo Alvarez Aznar, just 5 points separating those top two. But as we say, Andreas Skau is in the mix, Simon de Lestre is in the mix, Gilles Thomas is inside the top 10 as well. And all of them have qualified for today's Grand Prix. So if any of those riders inside the top 10, because of the compact nature of the championship standings, if they were to go on and get into a jump off, put themselves onto a podium, there are going to be big championship points that could well sway this overall ranking quite significantly by the time we get to Saint-Tropez at the Côte d'Azur in the couple of weeks' time on stage 6 of the Longines Global Champions Tour season. For now, though, let's take a break. When we return, more from the course, more about course designer Santiago Varela and how he designs these courses, how he is able to challenge the riders, and are we going to have a jump-off-less Grand Prix like we did in 2023? Well, that's the big question. Stay with us here on GCTV. We'll take a quick break. When we return, more from Madrid.
Elegance is an attitude. Of course it is. Elegance is an attitude. Of course it is.
Welcome back to GCTV. Welcome back to the Club de Campo Via here in Madrid for stage 5 of the Longines Global Champions Tour. We are getting ready for today's big LGCT Grand Prix of Madrid. And quite excitedly, as you can hear, I want to find out what has been designed by Santiago Varela. I have so many questions for Frederik de Backer. I don't know how many of them he will be able to answer, but let's find out. Frederik de Backer, are we going to have a jump-off list Grand Prix? Does the famous water jump make a return? Give me the information. What has Santiago Varela put together for today's LGCT Grand Prix of Madrid?
So first you asked me who is going to win the Grand Prix, and now you want me to answer it, answer the question, will we have a jump-off-less Grand Prix? I don't know about that, Mark, but it's true that Santiago Varela does have somewhat of a reputation. First part of his reputation, always 14 fences in his Grand Prix. These are one of the longest Grand Prix that we'll have all season. He's been doing that for many years now. Last year, only Edwina Tops Alexander with the only clear, all the rest of the field on time penalties, no jump-offs. It was 2 years ago that we had the joint second place for Mauro Zanotelli and for Derek Kenny for second. We had a year without jump-offs with, who was it? It was Luciano Diniz who won here with Willy Boot. We had a jump-off with only 2, Scott Brash and Olivier Robert, who are in the Grand Prix once again this weekend. So Varela has got a little bit of a remarkable, of course, plan or an outcome for his Grand Prix. But let's look at what he has built, Mark, and what we have got in front of us. Let's talk about the first 3 fences already. If you've watched Global Champions League, you will remember those lines. Looks very much like the first 3 lines, so the first 3 fences that we had in the Global Champions League. Then 7 strides to a plank. This is not a round rail, it's a plank on top of fence 4. And then he's got a very, very bulky triple combination. Huge wall coming away from the in-gate. 6 strides to Oxer, 2 strides vertical, and then a massive Oxer to come out. This is really, really a test of force and power, Mark. That's got them a little bit of time to fence 7, and he's given them a lot of time to come back on that concept, that notion. Water jump is going to be 6. Is there maybe an outside more room? Is there maybe the strike here of the group, but I haven't watched that myself, so I don't really know. After the 5 strides didn't speak yet about the undulation, about the fact that this ring goes up, but it's time to now as we come of 11 to mention. We have to go up the hill.
All right, we'll see if we can try and get some more information, maybe from the riders inside the ring. That signal letting us down. Frederik de Backer, thank you, though, for what was able to be received. I like that combination, that talk about how much power is going to be needed. And as he pointed out, Santiago Varela has a reputation for really challenging the riders and really making sure that the public get their great value for money here. But it is always something special, whether it is a no jump-off, whether it is about joint second places or joint riders on the podium. There is always something magical, something a little extra that happens here in Madrid. Is that going to be the case here again this weekend? We'll find out, of course, by the end of the night. We're trying to get some reaction from the riders. How are they feeling about what has been designed today? Well, Dan Strange standing by alongside with our previous stage winner, Gilles Thomas, here in Madrid.
Got Gilles Thomas, who won, of course, the LGCT Grand Prix of Shanghai. We're about to walk through 5, the combination at 6, and then up to 7. Gilles, let's walk. But as we do, look behind you. This wall, it's big and it's delicate. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's quite a fair enough start of the course. But then from here on, it's a massive wall, and then the triple combination followed by a skinny vertical. So I think from here on, the difficult part of the course starts.
This part of the course is relatively flat. We've spoken a lot this weekend about undulation. How do your thoughts change as it becomes flatter through towards the grandstand?
Yeah, indeed. You have to keep it a little bit in mind that some obstacles are uphill, otherwise other ones are a bit downhill. So you have to keep that in mind to keep the balance of your horse, because the ring is not really flat here.
Hermitage is hugely exciting. Jumped 1.60 m for the first time the other day, went clear of course. What are your expectations today?
Yeah, it will be his first big 5-star Grand Prix. So I'm really excited to ride him for the first time. So far he did everything very good, so I think he's in good shape. So let's hope we have a good round and a bit of luck on our side today.
Can you win 2 LGCT Grand Prix in a row?
That's difficult, but I hope I can jump a double clear today. It would be already kind of a win for me today.
Gilles, best of luck today. Mark, back up to you. Gilles Thomas really confident, and it'll be amazing to see how Hermitage goes. He is fairly confident about 5, the wall, and then through from there towards a skinny at 7.
We need to remember that Hermitage Galon is still only 10 years of age. So when Frederick Doraco was talking about those really talented young horses that are going to dominate the sport in the next 3 to 5 years, let's not forget Hermitage Galon. That name is on the list. And as Gilles Thomas says, perhaps quite humbly, all he would like to do today is jump a double clear. But by jumping double clear in Shanghai, he was able to get on top of the podium. So a double clear here in Madrid is probably going to send young Gilles Thomas pretty high up the overall standings here today, if that is to be the case. But all of these riders are going to have to deal with what Santiago Varela has put together. We took some time this week to sit down with the course designer who, as we said, has a reputation for putting a magical touch on his rings. Let's find out what Varela had to say.
And when I started as assistant course designer here in Madrid, and in this moment, this is a special arena for me, as you can imagine. No, we have lived a lot of things here. The 75th anniversary, the century, the European Championship. Yesterday I was making a count, no, because I didn't remember very well, but it was the 75th anniversary. That means that 38 or 39 years ago. This is a big arena, but the courses are slightly different, no? Obviously, the Grand Prix on Sunday will have, for sure, 14 fences with the water jump and two combinations also. In all the arenas, the question is how you build this course and how you design the turn and the lines. There are, in this arena, there are long lines because you have the opportunity to have long lines because you have it's a big arena, about 75 by 120. It's difficult to design because this arena is not flat. As all the grass arenas are not flat and you need to pay more attention. But at the end of the day, when you know the arena is okay. You need to be careful where you place the offset or the combination and how you play with the distance, because downhill or uphill is not the same in this arena, clearly. And it's not only one way. There are different movements in different areas of the arena. The riders need to pay attention to take the rhythm immediately, no? At the start of the course. In this arena, it's very important that you give the opportunity to them to maintain, to keep the rhythm. And after you play only for the riders, no? You only think that the horses will jump well. If you try to keep like this, you have 80% of the work is done.
You're quite well known for putting the final combination right in front of the grandstand. Clearly a man who likes his sport for entertainment. How much of it's about showmanship for you?
No, this time the last combination will be in this side of the arena. And I hope that the people enjoy, you know. In any case, you are not so important, because the most important are the horses, and finally always there is a winner, and it's not a drama, no? And we are talking about the better horses that we have in the world. You wait that the horses and the riders make their job, and finally the sport make the rest, no? This is the nice of this sport.
Santiago Varela, the course designer here today, putting in 14 jumps, bringing in the famous water jump as well. He said no to the showmanship question, and I think maybe that might not have been 100% the case. We know that he does have a flair for the special, as the wind quite dramatically here all of a sudden picks up in Madrid. Some oohs and ahs from the crowd as well as they get ready for today's LGCT Grand Prix of Madrid. The course walk is well underway. The riders are behind us, measuring every stride, measuring every step to make sure that they can somehow get into the jump off later on today. As we mentioned at the top of the show, one of the big stories coming out of the week is the fact that Henrik von Eckermann, world #1, did not qualify for today's LGCT Grand Prix. Of course, he would like to have been there. He would like to add to that championship tally and win yet another LGCT Grand Prix. He's down inside the ring with Dan Strange as we get some reaction to his failure to qualify.
Thanks, Mark. I've got Henrik von Eckermann, world #1 down here. But Henrik, today you didn't qualify for the LGC Grand Prix of Madrid. Firstly, how much of a disappointment is that for you?
Of course, it's a disappointment. You know, we go to the shows to be in the Grand Prix, to the final day, and but it didn't go as planned. It's not the first time, it's not the last time. Just try to get back strong again.
So you then change caps from rider to coach. Evelina Torvik is in the Grand Prix. I think she goes in sort of about 19th or 20th today. How confident in her are you? What have you spoken through with her as you walk the course?
Just try to guide her through, you know. I know the horse well, I know Evelina well, of course, so try to give her a bit of support, what I believe will be the right way of doing it. And yeah, we see. I really like the course builder. He opens up very open, and then in the end it gets a bit critical.
Is there one particular point within this Grand Prix course that you think will cause huge problems for any riders?
Of course, the last line is a bit delicate also because of the track. The track is a little bit, you know, downhill and uphill, and the last line will be going downhill to double verticals, and then Oxer 4 strides down to another vertical into the corner with the water underneath. So I think that one for sure, when the horse is also a little bit tired and the concentration is maybe not there as in the beginning. So, but, you know, the triple combination is also one part, the vertical afterwards. It can fall a little bit everywhere, but I think in the last line we will see most of the faults, I think.
Obviously, as a coach, you have to sort of step back and watch things sometimes, but putting your individual viewpoint on this for a moment, how good are you at sitting and watching classes like this? And also, what can you learn? I know you're world #1, I know you're an exceptional talent, but you're always learning, surely.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I always learn from watching, and I try to just become better and make sure next time I'm in the Grand Prix and not outside. So it's a mixed emotion. I hate to sit next to and watch. I want to ride, but at the same time I have to try to do the best out of the thing and learn something and make sure that the failures become less. And now I have to try to help Evelina and through her get some success.
Henrik, thank you so much for your time and your thoughts on Evelina and of course your weekend as well. Mark, back up.
I'm not a betting man, but let me tell you, if you want to put some money on Henrik von Eckermann getting back into the next Grand Prix, as he says, I think it's a pretty safe bet. The world #1, very unlikely to have that little blip continue going into the next stage in Saint-Tropez or whenever he will be back on the calendar and on the tour. As he said, understandable, obvious disappointment after having missed out on today's LGCT Grand Prix of Madrid. We continue getting some reactions, some feedback from the riders from what has been designed here from Santiago Varela. Now, number 18 to go, Laura Kraut, the American, standing by for us inside the ring. I believe she is with Dan Strange. Dan, let's get some reaction from Laura.
Thanks, Mark. Yeah, Laura goes on Balotinu, as you say, in 18th today. Laura, deep conversations, a lot of analysis of this course. What are your thoughts so far about it?
Well, listen, it's always difficult here. Santi is probably one of the best course designers in the world, so you can't underestimate anything that he has out here. Yeah, my teammate Ken Farrington and I were just going over our plans, and yeah, I think that everywhere is difficult. We got to pay attention everywhere, and then you also have to take into account there's quite a big up and down hill on this course, which it's not so easy to see on the television, but the last line going to the double of verticals is going to be a difficult test for the horses.
How do you think Balotinu will cope with the undulation? Is it the sort of course that suits Suits the horse?
I hope it is. Normally he likes atmospheres like this. So yeah, I mean, that's why we're here. Hopefully he's in good form and I don't let him down.
Laura, I'll let you get away. Thank you so much for your time. Mark, back up to you. Laura, clearly ready to go.
Thank you very much, Dan Strange. She does make a very good point, though, where she reminds us of that slope. And it was something that we spoke about during the Global Champions League. And again, we'll probably continue to talk about throughout the rest of the afternoon as well. That slope that is not always very easily picked up on the cameras. If you are lucky enough to go inside the ring and physically walk it as well, it does feel far more pronounced than the cameras show it. And now for these riders, as we said, they were coming up with double verticals on the hill, down the hill, the slopes, the water jump, the 14 fences. All of that combined requires huge amount of power, huge amount of scope from these horses to try and go and be successful here today. It is a beautiful summer's day in Madrid. Here is a shot of what the Club de Campo Via looks like here in Madrid. And let me tell you, that shot taken a few moments ago, the main grass bank just on my left-hand side has filled up tremendously over the last hour or so, and will continue to build and build even more so as we get ready to get underway today on stage 5 of the Longines Global Champions Tour. This is the LGCT Grand Prix of Madrid. We have the best 40 riders of the week all ready to go to compete for today's title, to compete for today's prize money, and perhaps many would say arguably the most important, to compete for those crucial championship points as they go in search of the overall LGCT title. Eduardo Alvarez Asna currently in first place. Max Kuna currently in second place. It is coming up next live on GCTV. Make sure you subscribe, get your live pass, and join us for the LGCT Grand Prix of Madrid.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome and a great afternoon here at the Longines Global Champions Tour in Madrid. Welcome to the Club Campo de Via for the 5th Grand Prix of the season on Longines Global Champions Tour. Plenty of questions that we will find answered at the end of the afternoon. Are Spain finally going to celebrate their first Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix winner on home soil? Is Eduardo Alvarez Asnar going to keep hold of that bracelet that points him out as leader of the Longines Global Champions Tour? And what about all these exciting horses? There is an unbelievable quality of field, depth of field in this 111th Grand Prix here in Madrid. You hear that right, it is the 111th running, 111 years, consecutive years of this fantastic event at the iconic Club Campo de Via, this green sporting oasis in the heart of the Spanish capital. We've just returned from Shanghai. We started our journey in Doha, and after Miami Beach, Mexico, and then the return to Shanghai, we now land here in Madrid, where last year Edwina Thompson-Alexander won the Grand Prix on the only one to go clear in round 1. All other riders struggled with the time allowed. And so it was not to say the easiest win, but at least you didn't have to jump off for the win here. Edwina Thompson-Alexander with fellow Castlefield the year before. As you could see, Stanateis's glorious victory, and she's back in the game with Conquidam. But once again, she will need to tackle this course built by Santiago Varela. It starts at the low side of the ring. Much has been said and written about the undulation. It is very characteristic to the Club Campo de Via, and it is an extra factor to take into account. Caser Seguros has the first upright, and then away from the water, up the hill to fence 2, the Oxer of Madrid. Right-hand turn to a big triple bar of the Club Campo de Via de Madrid, and then it is a 5-stride approach to a very, very delicate plank on top of Grupo EULM. The first two lines had big turns, and here's another big turn, so that's already the third big turn where you can lose a lot of time. A huge wall at plus meter 60, and then 6 strides maybe slightly on the inside. You need a little bit of pace and oomph to come into that Longines triple combination. 6 strides on the inside line, and then it is Oxer, 2 strides to a very tall vertical, and then it's slightly short because we are actually going downhill in this line through the triple combination. So from the vertical to the next Oxer, there is only 8 meters inside, and as it is downhill, that front rail will come up even quicker. Not overly big as you can see, but it is quite wide. An option for 7 or 8 to the Global Champions Gate. It's only a rail of 2.5 meters long, and there is an option 7 or 8, but I think it'll be 7 to catch the time allowed. And here comes that open water, big open water up the hill, and then on the inside a fairly flat 6 to Ola. That is followed by a short 5, so not the first fence that will be a conundrum. It's the second fence actually after the water at fence 10. A rollback by the in and out gate. Lots of horses will get stuck at that gate, and then big Oxer at 10. 4 strides into a double of uprights, and as you can see and as you remember, now we're going downhill again. Meter 50 the width, so not overly big, but 4 strides down the hill. If you're losing balance, if your horse is losing energy, if you're on the front end, on the front hand, then your horse will get heavy, and it's a huge vertical to come in at meter 60 as well as to come out. 8 meters 40 inside, and then is it an inside 6? Is it an outside 7? That is a question to answer for the riders. And depending on what you choose, the 4 will also end up differently, with a Liverpool at the landing side of that final fence, fence 14. Traditionally, Santiago Varela has given them a lot to jump, 14 fences, and I'm looking at the time allowed. At this point, it is set at 99 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. I am not sure if that will be the case, if that still needs to be changed, but 99 seconds at this point is the time allowed. That gives you an idea about how long and how grilling and grueling this Grand Prix will be. And these are the 14 gladiators that will have to take on this Grand Prix. Willem Vermeer to go first. The Belgians go in early. The Belgians have already won 3 Grand Prix after the first 4. Who's in that group? Very early, Sanotijse. There you have her. Sanotijse with Konkidam, John Whittaker, Equine America, Unique de Framport. It is Jody Hall-McAteer, one of the favorites with Hardessa. There's Katin Eckermann at 10 with Calamandia, the 2-time Grand Prix winners at Miami Beach. Spanish rider Mariano Martinez Bastida, lots riding on his shoulders. The return of Laura Kraut and Palutino, and there Kukuk with Checker, Ben Meer with Point Break, Brash with Hallow Jefferson, Ken Farrington with Grea. That is a very intense piece, and it continues. Van der Vleuten, Beauville, Weishaupt, Zinedine, De Lestre, Dexter, then Olivier Robert, a former winner here in Madrid, Scow on Napoli, the 5-star Grand Prix debut of Hermitage Cologne, then Jackson with Sergio Moya, Korbacher with Fernando Martinez Sommer, and at the end we come down to a list of just 39 and not 40, as Eduardo Aznar, championship leader, is going to try to become the very first Spanish rider ever to win the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix of Madrid. Behind him, Perrault, Trapote, Philippards, Lynch and Kuhner. And Kuhner is last to go, has maneuvered himself into pole position, and Kuhner is just a few points. He's 5 points behind on Eduardo Alvarez Aznar. So there is quite a fierce fight for the championship lead. And talking championship lead, of the top 20, ladies and gentlemen, 11 riders are present. If we are talking top 10, 5 riders are present. We'll have a look at the championship standings in a minute. And as you can see, it is once again, and as always, a massive crowd that has come out to this beautiful Sunday afternoon in Madrid in Spain at the Club Campo de Villa. It is one of the big sporting events here in a city that is crazy about sports. I don't need to tell you about Real de Madrid and Atletico de Madrid, the 2 famous football clubs. But there is much more going on. Hockey on site as well. Big hockey contests being held at the Club Campo de Villa. Big tennis competitions as well. International tennis championships. But now all eyes on the beautiful grass ring that has been dressed with the course of Santiago Varela. And Willem Vermeer from Belgium is the very first to go. Vermeer on IQ van het steentje. A gelding 16 years young, in the form of his life, sired by the great Toulon himself, a Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix winner back in the day with Hubert Bourdi, but it was this very same Willem Vermeer who produced Toulon as a young stallion right up to meet the 60 level before Hubert Bourdi could actually reap the fruit of Willem Vermeer's work. It's a homebred horse, and the horse is actually owned by his brother, by Bert Vermeer. And Vermeer now trying to build on that clear round that they had in Doha at the beginning of the season at stage 1. For Vermeer, he gives IQ one more look at the water. You may have noticed that Vermeer rides this IQ van het Steentje in a hackamore, not with a mouthpiece. The course has so far by riders been described as more delicate and technical rather than massive and big. So it'll all be about control, about focus and fitness of the riders. And now we'll wait and see how that plays out for Vermeer. Caser Seguros as first vertical. A long loop to fence 2, and you have to try to keep this tight, and it does that really well. Vermeer nearly hugs that oxer off the triple. The 5 are slightly flowing, straight away testing those horses on the quality. Again, very tight round the turn here. Slightly on the inside line into the triple. Big test now. Rides an extra stride to the upright and gets too deep. Vermeer is too deep to fence 7. Delicate upright Ola, and now holding and holding and holding to create room at Porsche, and he handles that well. Comes around the turn. Time allowed indeed has been changed to 79 seconds. The orange oxer away from the in-gate. 79 seconds time allowed. Vermeer with a good pace into the double of uprights. Light rub there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the inside, and the 4 will get normal for Vermeer. And how about that time allowed? Look at that. Vermeer with all his pace is just 3/4 of a second inside the time allowed, and 4 penalties are his share for Willem Vermeer and IQ van het Steentje at 1 extra stride.
So Willem Vermeer has 1 fence down, 4 penalties, and as it stands now, searching for clears. It looks as if he will not be in a jump-off, if there is to indeed be a jump-off. Niels Bruinseels is next in the ring. If you want to continue watching the LGCT Grand Prix of Madrid, sign up for a GCTV live pass. Stay with us, watch the rest of the best 40 riders of the weekend compete for today's title. Sign up and get your GCTV live pass to watch the rest of the Grand Prix.